White in Edge of Eternities has a real clean identity. It supports aggro, +1/+1 counters, go white token strategies, and even has tools for control. It's not the splashiest color, but it's solid across the board, especially in synergy-driven decks. So in this video, I'll walk through every white common and uncommon from the set based on how they play in limited draft. I'll share what I personally like, where they shine, and which ones are more trap than treasure. Focus Fire, a solid little removal spell. It starts at 2 damage, which is already decent for 1 mana at instant speed, and gets better the wider your board is. It's never going to be a premium removal, but I'm happy to play 1 or 2. Honor. I love this type of card. 1 mana for a small buff, and a card draw? Always worth it. Helps your counter synergies, can push the damage early, and it replaces itself. It just does all the little things well. Reroute systems. This is one of my favorite tricks in the set. You got indestructibility for defense or surprise 2 damage removal. It plays both roles beautifully and fits into any deck running creatures, which is basically all white decks. Seam Reap, Portable Hole 2.0. This hits small threats for just 1 mana, and it's being an enchantment mean it dodges a lot of board wipes, but it's great against aggro and early bomb. Squire's Light Blade. Yeah, this one just doesn't do enough. The flash trick is fine, but the leftover equipment is too weak. It's like Coral Sword from Final Fantasy, but worse. Only playable if you really need a combat trick. Port Security. This tried to be a tapper, but the cost, even discounted one, is too clunky. Unless I'm desperate for interaction or tapping matters, I'm skipping this. Dock Worker Drone. One of the better 2-drops. It's a 2/2 that leaves value behind when it dies, and if you pump it, the counters keep working for you. Just clean and efficient. Dual Sun Technique. Double strike tricks always have blowout potential. If you're in a +1/+1 counter deck like Selenia, this can even draw a card. Sometimes it wins games out of nowhere, and it's never dead. Honored Knight Captain. This one impressed me. 2 bodies for 2 mana is already solid, and being able to cash it for an equipment later? If you have even 1 good equipment in your deck, this becomes a great mid to late gameplay. Pulsar Squadron Ace. Either a 2 mana 2/3 or a card draw engine in a spacecraft deck. Both options are great. I pick this early if I see it and build around it a little. Starfighter Pilot. This one's surprisingly smooth. It gives you value every time it taps, and it plays super well with Station. It's a card that highly improves your next draw. Sunstar Expansionist. Great on the draw, and it gives you a REM token if you're behind. I love the flexibility and how it pushes landfall damage. Sneaky good in mid-range deck. Banishing Light. Classic, reliable, and still amazing in 2025. This is the kind of removal spell that fits into literally any white deck. Aggro, mid-range, control, first pickable, always play it. Night Spear Zealot. This one's fine, especially if your deck is built to double spell consistently. A 4/4 vigilance attacker on turn 5 can swing a race, but sometimes it's just a boring 2/4. Dual Sun Adepts. A 3-drop with double strike is already annoying to block. Add in a pump ability and this can swing games. Great payoff in low curve decks when you want a menacing. Emergency Eject. It gives them a lander, sure, but that's way better than giving them a creature token like Stroke of Midnight. Instant speed removal is just too good to pass up. Exosuit Savior. Another surprisingly solid common. Bounces something like ETB, resets lands, and saves a creature from removal. Just enough utility that I like it a lot. Like Deck Coordinator. I want to like it, but 2 life isn't doing enough. If you're going white, there are just better payoffs. Rayblade Trooper. Very efficient warp card. Makes any creature better with counter, and it gives you a token when something dies. Great synergy piece for counter decks. Scout for Survivors. Crazy value card in a low curve decks. You get 2 or 3 creatures back, all with counters. Huge swing potential. Just draft enough 1-drops to make this sing. Zealous Display. It's a Trumpet Blast variant that could be used defensively. Sometimes it ends games, but most of the time it sits in the sideboard. All Fate Stalker. I love this one. Warp turns it into surprise removal, and the Fine Hunter effect is just solid. You can even use it as a tempo play just to avoid to exile something with an ETB effect. Night Luminary, just a solid package. You get a token early, then a later full 3-2 body. It plays it great with tempo and go wide strategies. Lux Knight Breacher can be big, but sometimes it's just a 3-3. It's okay, but I treat it as a filler unless I'm heavy on creatures or artifacts. Radiant Strike, one of the white's better commons. Kills tap creature or artifact and gains life. Clean and simple removal. Not flashy, but does the job. Sunstar Lightsmith. This card gets out of control fast. The first trigger makes the second one easier, and it snowballs hard. Total engine in the right deck. Wedgelight Rammer. A token up front and a 3-4 flyer with first strike later? That's a nice deal. A little slow to turn on, but great payoff once it does. Auxiliary Booster. This is your classic 5-drop equipment package. You get a 3-4 flying creature up front, and the equipment sticks around for future value. It's not a bomb, but in slower decks, or if you're looking for some extra flying threats, this totally makes the cut. Starfield Shepherd. This card is sneaky good. You get a 3-3 flyer for 5, fine stats, but the real juice is tutoring a plane and a cheap creature. If you warp it early, it helps you hit your land drop and set up your next play. Great card advantage and super smooth curve fixer. On Strike Vanguard. You'll often trigger this the turn you play it, and it puts serious pressure on board. This lifelink is also super relevant. It's not flashy, but it's very real. Rescue Skiff. This one's a sleeper. For 6 mana, you get a big spacecraft and you reanimate something, either a creature or an enchantment, from your graveyard. And if you can station it afterwards, that's a 5-6 flyer that ends games. I'll happily take it as my curve topper in a slower deck. Weft Blade Enhancer. 4 +1/+1 counters total and a decent sized body. What's not to like? Great for enabling early attacks and additional support in the late game. White in Edge of Eternities has no shortage of playables. It gives you reliable removal, tempo plays, and a bunch of small synergies that reward good sequencing. While it doesn't have many bombs at common and uncommon, its depth and flexibility more than make up for it. Draft it aggressively if you can build around tokens and counters, or go mid-range with our top 5 white cards. 1. Banishing Light. 2. Starfield Shepherd. 3. Rayblade Trooper. 4. Pulsar Squadron Ace. 5. Scout for Survivor. That's it for white. Let me know which card is overperforming in your drafts, and don't forget to like, sub, and share it if that helps you win your next pot.